Yo, so what's good, fam? It's your man Jay Boogie in the hoodie. I'm back with another episode of Evolutionary Comics, the first one officially of 2021. I know. I'm a little bit late. It's almost the middle of February, and I'm just now starting off, but I've been going through some things, had some health issues, had some family issues, stuff like that. But hey, I'm out of that funk. I'm back to doing what I love. I haven't stopped collecting. I made sure that I've been hitting my comic book shop every week on Wednesday to get what's in my bag. And this is going to be the first episode of What's in My Bag. It's a little bit late as far as, because it's not Wednesday. It's actually Saturday that I'm actually doing it. But I wanted to do a little something different. I wanted to show you what's in my bag, but also to be able to give you a little bit of a review because it's more than just showing you what's in my bag. I want to tell you a little bit about that particular issue. So, without further ado, like a lot of my other comic book vloggers like to say, Evolutionary Comics 2021, let's get it. So, like I said, I'm back. I got a nice little stack here, mostly Marvel. I got one Image and a couple of DC. It was what's considered a light week for me. I do collect quite a few issues each week. As you see, I'm backed up a little bit. I got a new shelf here, if you can see it off to the side, because I had to get a little bit better organized. I'm still organizing things. I have things that I just picked up on the fly that I have to categorize and put them in boxes, but hey, I'm getting back with it. So first up anyway is Taskmaster number 3, and this is written by Jed MacKay, and the artwork is by Alessandro Vito. And so Taskmaster's still getting that work. They still chasing him, man. Somebody framed Taskmaster, and he's a villain, of course. You know, people are gonna want to hunt him down. Heroes are gonna want to hunt him down anyway, but this time he ain't do it. So he's still trying to escape, trying to prove himself innocent. For once in his life, he had been trying to kick back and relax and, you know, kind of retire a little bit, I think. But he's back at it, and he's getting worked over by a superhero. I'm not even sure who it is. Somebody named White Fox. Not even familiar with that character, but she's familiarizing herself with Taskmaster. As you can see by the cover, she is shredding his ass up. But I don't really like how they doing Taskmaster, because Taskmaster's superpower is he has the ability to imitate anybody that he sees. He can recreate their powers just by observing them, and I'm not sure, you know, what's going on, why he's getting dogged out so much, but he's still alive, so he's doing something right. But yeah, that's Taskmaster number 3. Check my man out. Next up is The Amazing Spider-Man number 59. And this is written by Nick Spencer and Marcelo Ferreira. And in this issue, Mr. Negative is back. Mr. Negative was a villain that I first came across him in the video game Spider-Man. But I guess he's been around for a little while. But, you know, just like Foot Fungus, he's back, you know, nagging old Peter Parker and Spider-Man. And Kindred hasn't gone anywhere. So Wilson Fisk is still the mayor, which is crazy as hell to me, which I don't understand. But hey, anything is possible in the Marvel Universe. Mr. Negative is back on him. Kendrick is still lingering. So yeah, so that's what's going on with the Amazing Spider-Man. He's still getting nagged. Of course, with Kindred, a nightmarish creature like that, you're going to have some lingering effects from it. So he's trying to come out of that, but he can't because somebody else is back at him. I guess that's why they call him Mr. Negative. If you notice, like whenever things are going bad for you and you feel like you're in a little funk, negative things always pop up to kind of keep you there. So it's befitting of this particular issue. Next up, we have Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil number 27. I'm sorry, number 27. This is it's interesting because Elektra is like taking over for Daredevil and trying to protect Hell's Kitchen. She's doing it for Matt Murdock, who is, I guess he's considered her boyfriend. But yeah, so she's trying to pick up the paces for him while he's incarcerated. While he's incarcerated, though, in the last issue, in number 26, Null has infiltrated the prison. So the null virus is contaminating all the prisoners, all the guards and everything. And at the last spot in 26, if it's a spoiler, you should have read it by now if you haven't. Daredevil is taking over. Matt Murdock is taken over by the null, the symbiote. So it's interesting to see what this issue is going to be about. I haven't read it, but up until this point, this is it's pretty good. So I guess that's, you know, a preview for a review. Anyway, next up is one of the more interesting pickups for me this week is this is the Sword series. This is it's Manifold on the cover. So, and everybody know Manifold is a mutant. He's ultra powerful. He's been previously seen in the Black Panther series, the Ta-Nehisi Coates run of Black Panther, and he's been going through some things. This series is actually written by Al Ewing, and the artwork is by Bernard Chang. And the Sentient Weapon Observation and Response Division is has their eyes on everything. But from what I'm hearing about this issue, they're going to showcase Manifold's powers and kind of explain it a little bit more and allow you to see, you know, exactly how powerful he is. Ever since his first appearance in Secret Warriors #4 back in 2009, I believe, Manifold was created by Jonathan Hickman, but he's been in the Black Panther series. He's been bouncing around from here to there. I really dig him in the Black Panther series because he's done a lot of good work. And yeah, so I'm really definitely ready to get into that one. Speaking of Black Panther, this one is #1 of the King in Black spinoff. So you know how they have all the little tie-ins and everything. This one is dope. This issue was fire. This was probably the first thing that I read once I made my pickups this week. All right, so this Black Panther edition is written by Jeffrey, I can't remember how to say his name, Jeffrey Thorne. But if you remember, if you're kind of older and you're into older shows, if you remember the TV series In the Heat of the Night, he played a police officer on there back in the late 80s, and Mr. Tibbs and all that. You gotta watch the show. I forgot the guy from Archie Bunker. I can't even remember his real name, but it was a show that me and my grandfather used to watch. It was an old show. I still dig it to this day. If it comes on, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna watch it because I love the show. You know, there's police work, detective work, and you know, it's Mr. Tibbs. And this particular character, this particular writer, his character on that show kind of caught me. But he's a year older than me, and I didn't know that he had gotten into writing up until like maybe a year ago. I found out. But I'm gonna tell you, in this particular issue of Black Panther, he does his thing. He shows his wares as a writer. I'm thoroughly impressed. This is probably my favorite pickup of the year so far. I know it's just February, but in the past couple of months, I'll say this is probably my favorite book that I've read. And it's basically where the Null symbiote, his dragons and everything are trying to invade Wakanda, just like they're doing all over the earth right now. They basically have the earth covered. And, you know, Wakanda's different. And I know I've seen some other vloggers, they were talking about, you know, okay, Wakanda, you know, defeats and whatever. But, you know, spoiler, sorry about that. But the whole thing is Wakanda's not the same. We're not the same, you know what I'm saying? So if they're the most advanced technology and just intelligent-wise civilization on the earth, why would you not expect them to, you know, to do better than other places? They're way more organized. It's freaking Wakanda. Don't even try to trip, because we understand, but other people, they don't be wanting to understand because they think, you know, Wakanda is this mythical, heavenly, this is that utopia. Yeah, it is. Get with it or move on. But of course, I love it because T'Challa comes through, does his thing. Shuri, General Okoye, they're all in here. The only thing that was a little offsetting is that T'Challa could kind of link himself to what was going on with Storm, and I guess he felt like he was in a helpless position because he's in Wakanda and she was in New York. But yeah, so it's a great issue, and a little bit more about Mr. Geoffrey Thorne, because like I say, I like to do artist spotlights and author spotlights. And what he's been up to is, like, since he became, you know, he was the officer Wilson Sweet on In the Heat of the Night back in the late 80s. He had an anthology series, an award-winning anthology series in Strange New Worlds, and his particular anthology was called The Soft Room. And since then he's written stuff for Star Trek. He did a novel for Star Trek. He's written for TV shows like Law and Order. I think he's written some stuff for the Liberians. He's written on Ben 10. He's done some stuff with Amazing Spider-Man. He's been all over the place. He's done some. I know I seen a Green Lantern cover where he did some work on that as well, or a Green Lantern book that his name was on the cover. So I think he wrote something for that as well. But like I say, if you're into the authors like I am, because I'm a writer, plus I'm a writer, photographer, the artistic guy. I love books, and his writing up to date, everything that I've read from him is absolutely amazing. So yeah, check my man out. So if you're not just into the comics, but you're a little bit deeper into the fact of you want to know who writes it, and you want to get a good story. And no knock against Ta-Nehisi Coates, he does his thing in his way, but in my opinion, Geoffrey Thorne should be the next ongoing Black Panther writer as far as the comic book goes. And I wouldn't even mind seeing him kind of team up with Ryan Coogler and write some stuff for the new upcoming World of Wakanda, and even for Black Panther. I know they've already done Black Panther 2, they've done the writing, but ongoing, Marvel, y'all need to holler at my man Geoffrey Thorne and let him do a little bit more work, because based off this one issue, I'm hooked. So, Alright, so this is Kick-Ass Hit Girl number 4, and it's written by Steve Niles and Marcelo Frusin. This particular is a John Romita Jr. cover. I love the series. I'm digging the series. There's only one thing I got against it, and I love Patience. Right now, she's probably one of my favorite characters because she's a down-to-earth sister. She's fine. She's beautiful. She's a single mother. Her husband ran off on her, did her greasy. She got a new love interest in her life who's very, very, they say it takes a real man to raise someone else's kids. This guy is even more realer because he's dealing with finding out that she hasn't been upfront with him and hasn't been truthful. So her world is kind of unraveling as far as her regular world. He found out that she no longer has the job that she says that she goes to every night. He knows that school is over, so she's not going to school, but she disappears every night, and he's there keeping the kids that's not even his. So some people would say that's a sucker, but you can see it kind of in his eyes that he has faith in her, and he knows that that she ain't out doing some old nonsense on the relationship side, but he still doesn't really know. But he's taking a leap of faith. He got her back, and I applaud the brother for that. Patience, however, she's still battling, and basically at this point what she's doing is she's trying to get rid of the drug trade. She took over the drug trade in her area. Now she's trying to get rid of it and just kind of eradicate it from the area and just make the world a better place in her particular community. And Hit Girl doesn't understand. She don't know. She just knows that somebody's impersonating her friend, the original Kick-Ass, and she's come to do her thing and do some hitting and kicking ass and whatever. But I think they're going to end up coming to some kind of understanding. They've talked a little bit more. They've set up for this battle, and yeah, this is another great issue. Check out my girl Patience. If you're a female, if you're a woman that's kind of into comic books and you're tired of the testosterone coming from men or whatever, I think that this would be a great series for you to pick up on. I think it's relatable because Patience is definitely a relatable character. She's dope. She's a dope character. So check that out. That's one of my favorite. It's by Image Comics. Hit Girl, Kick-Ass versus Hit Girl. Pick up the original, the first run of it, and it's Kick-Ass the new. I think it's called Kick-Ass the New Chick or the New Girl or whatever. But just look for it. It's dope. Next up is DC Future State Dark Detective number 3. And the Bat is still trying to do his thing, and in this issue he comes face to face with the next Batman, the new Batman. And Mr. Fox and Mr. Wayne have a brief little face-off in this particular issue. And it's not what I honestly started reading the Dark Detective series simply because of this particular cover. And I saw the cover and I was like, okay, let me go back and get number 1 and number 2 before number 3 comes out, because it looks like it's going to be dope. It looks like some hotness. And I definitely thought that, they might bang for a little bit and then come to a resolution, but it wasn't even none of that. It was just like brief words, that some things that they would say to each other that, Batman would say to another Batman or whatever. It wasn't nice, but it wasn't, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But I guess because they have a common enemy in the Magistrate and dealing with them, and anybody with a mask is getting smoked in their eyes. It's a shoot first order. So both of them are, you know, kind of lending each other some advice and being careful. So, but it's a good issue. It also has the Signal, which is one of my favorite characters. It has that little subsect of story. They're not coming across paths with each other. It's still set in the same old Gotham, but you know, it's a good series. It's coming out to be something that's very interesting. The thing about the Future State is they're telling small stories, like 3 different stories within one book. And at this point, I'm really tired of that. I really want just one book completely about one particular thing. So I want the next Batman. I want Mr. Fox to have his own series. And I still pick up, you know, Bruce Wayne stuff too. But, you know, Batman has never been my favorite character. But the next Batman is definitely on the list because, hey, he a brother. So that's exactly what I want to see. And I know people, some of those purists don't want to see, well, the Batman is supposed to be black. They did the same thing to Spider-Man, and they're trying to blah 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 whatever. So it's diversity, it's change, you know. So let's get it. Am I willing to say, oh, okay, the next Black Panther should be a white guy? He did have an older brother, an older adopted brother that went around acting like him. Do your research. So, you know, it is what it is. Lastly, I have DC's Future State, the Justice League 2. And in the last issue of this, they were like doppelgangers or whatever that had came along, and they were like catching them all off guard. You know, of course, if you see somebody who looks like your homeboy, and then you're somebody you trust, and then it turns out it's not them, you're gonna be too shocked and caught off guard, and you're gonna have your guard down, and it's gonna put you at a disadvantage. And that's exactly what happened in issue 1. So I'm interested to see what happens in issue 2. It has the Green Lantern, Joe Mullen, the new Green Lantern in it. It has the next Batman. It has the new Wonder Woman, the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Yara Flor. So I'm interested in her. And they have Supes in there. I guess it's a Superman. I'm not sure if it's Superman or his son, who it is. They haven't really highlighted that particular character too much, so I don't really know a lot about it. But so in the DC universe, in the movie version of it, my man that played in Man of Steel and the latest Superman, I feel like that's the best Superman that they've ever had. I know that they've had a lot before. And I can't even, it's crazy, I'm drawing a blank that I can't even think of all the individuals that play Superman. But yeah, in the comic books, you know, you can't replace certain key characters like that, but you can transcend them and have new characters that are similar. So I guess that's going back to the Batman thing that I was talking about. All right, so I got a few minutes left, and I hope I haven't chatted y'all to death, but I'm gonna do a quick run through of my mail call. I opened it already and pulled everything out, but so real quick, this is something I got. I got these from Things from Another World. That's a company, a comic book company that I order from whenever I can't get things in the store, or whenever I need multiple copies of something. If I'm scared that I'm only going to get one copy or something like that, because I'm not able to, to hit up my comic book store as soon as they open in the morning. My comic book shop local is Emerald City Comics, and that's in Clearwater, Florida. Hit them up. It's the only comic book store that I've been in across the nation that has the inventory that they do and has the knowledgeable staff that they do, that pretty much anything that you ask about, they have some type of knowledge. So holla at them. Especially my man Frank, my man Adam. They both look out for me, take care of me. So yeah, Emerald City Comics. This is the Amazing Spider-Man number 58. This is the Yoon variant cover. It's pretty dope. I couldn't find it in my shop. I got there late, like I was stating. But it's a dope cover. I love that cover. It's, pretty smooth. Next up is one of my favorite series by Mr. Rodney Barnes. Shout out Mr. Rodney Barnes, one of the greatest comic book authors, one of the greatest authors, writers that I know in my time. And Jason Sean Alexander is the artist on this. I already have these, but these, like I said, these are going to be multiple covers. And I'm not sure who, this is the McFarlane cover. I was going to say I'm not sure who did this one, but I do remember it's McFarlane. Plus it has McFarlane down at the bottom. Then I also picked up another copy. I got like 4 or 5 copies of these. And that's partially because the Strange Academy is one of my favorite series right now. It has a lot of potential. A lot of people are thinking about key comics with this. I have a couple of different #1 issues. I got the variant covers in the original, the cover A of #1. These are the New Orleans version, and anybody who's watched my vlog long enough to know that New Orleans is one of my favorite cities, if not my favorite city in the United States. You know, me and my wife always vacation there. We always go to photography conferences there. It's real dope. So that's why I picked up those. And I got, like I said, I got 4 or 5 of #7. So this is going to be an addition. And I got 4 or 5 of #8, which is also a New Orleans cover, a Mardi Gras cover is what I'm calling them. All right, so this one is, this cover is actually done by Adrian Alfano, something like that. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name, but yeah, it's dope. And I'm not sure who did #8, but when we get to that one, we'll talk about that. This is the other history of the DC universe, man. These covers are fire. These are fire. And this is written by John Ridley and Giuseppe C. I'm not gonna try to pronounce that name. But yeah, so that's another issue. I got these already, so these are going to be duplicate issues, and this is another cover for that. So yeah, so these are my covers that I picked up. These all are extras, except for that Yoon cover for the Spider-Man. That's something that I didn't have. Everything else I already had in my collection so far. It's multiple covers. Like I said, my wife keeps telling me that you got to get multiples if you're going to eventually try to trade or sell or barter off. And I'm never going to sell my collection as a whole. Anything that I only have one of, I plan on leaving that to my grandkids. I always say that my nerdiest grandkid is going to get get the inheritance of my comic book collection and all things comics. So, all right, so yeah, so like I said, my comic book collection is going to go to my nerdiest grandkid. And if they're ever watching this, just know that Granddaddy love you to death, love you to life. I can't wait for you to exist and, you know, enjoy. So hope you read everything and you love it as much as I do. And remember, keep it in the same condition that I'm leaving it to you in. Because if you don't, if you bend the corners, you fold it up, if you do anything to disrespect the collection, I will be back to haunt your little ass. Love you. Renee, love you, baby. Anyway, this is my first episode of Evolutionary Comics for 2021. I'm long-winded. I'm gonna chop it up. Hopefully, I'm gonna shorten it up a little bit so it's under like 20 minutes. But if you're still with me, that means you appreciate it. I hope you hit that like button. If you're really digging it, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're really digging it and you just gotta hear my voice and you want more consistency, hit the little bell so you get the notifications whenever I, you know, put out new content. I do plan on being better, even though I got this late start for 2021. I do plan on putting out a lot more content for all of 9-10 of you that are watching. Hopefully my following grows, my subscribers grow, and I get on the level of some of the heavyweights of the comic book vlog industry. I want to shout out BJ Kicks, which is one of my favorite comic book vloggers. He's a mild-mannered guy. He's another Jackson. So, you know, I appreciate his comic book vlog. I watch it every week. I subscribe to it. I check out my man Blurred Without Fear. Who else is it that I've been watching? Comics Explained. You know, I think everybody watches Comic Explained. And I can't forget the other young guy. The guy, I can't remember your vlog name, but I'm gonna shout you out, and I might put a link down below. Congratulations! I think he's just ETSing out of the Navy. So thank you for your service. You know, from one military man to another. Appreciate your service. I love your vlog, and yeah. So let's keep doing it, bringing awareness to comic books as a whole, so everybody not only just loves the MCU and what you see in the movies, but you go back and you read a little bit too, because, you know, when I grew up, I wasn't allowed to watch TV as much as a lot of these young kids are doing. I had to read a lot. I read regular novels. I read historical books, non-fiction, fiction books. But my dad also gave me a little funding, and my stepmother used to take me to the bookstore, and I love her for that. So I attribute her, my stepmother Deborah. My Deborah, I love you. She also had an integral role in me having this love for comics, because she took me to the bookstore. You know, that's something we did as a family. Almost not every Saturday, but almost every Saturday, you know, we would go, and I would have to get like a regular book to read, but then I would get a little bit of money so I could buy some comic books too, and I didn't have to go to the local gas station and steal them or anything like that, which is, you know, in middle school I did. I used to, you know, I had whatever I had to do to get comic books, I did it. But yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. It's because I love it. Hope you pick up something. I hope you see something that you like. So yeah, so hit me up in the comments. Let me know if there's anything that you think can make my vlog better, can possibly give me more subscribers, get more people to be more attentive to the comic book culture, to the blurred culture. Because like I said, I do like to highlight the black artists, the black authors, the writers, and definitely the black characters within the comic book culture. That doesn't mean that I'm not a fan of other comic books, because as you see, I'm heavy on the Peter Parker Spider-Man series, and there's a lot of other series that I'm very interested in. If it's a good story, regardless of who it's written by, if you're green, yellow, purple, I'm gonna read it. And you know, like again, not taking shots at Ta-Nehisi Coates, but taking shots at Ta-Nehisi Coates. If I don't particularly like your writing, I may read it, but you know, I'm gonna say something about it too, because everybody's a critic. You know, it's getting kind of hectic. All right, this is Evolutionary Comics. It's your man Jay Boogie in the hoodie. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell button, do all of that, and then join me on the next episode. Until then, you know it. We do this for the people. It's all about the people, yo. Power to the people.